She always had a spark in her eyes when she talked about her little projects. While everyone else in the family was busy chasing careers, promotions, and practical dreams, Maya was in the corner of her tiny bedroom, surrounded by wires, glue, guns, and half-finished gadgets. To them, it was just a phase, a silly hobby. Her siblings teased her, her parents sighed whenever she showed them a new invention, and even her closest cousins would chuckle behind her back. No one took her seriously, not once. But Maya didn't care. Well, maybe a little, but not enough to stop. Every spare hour she had went into her creations. Sometimes it was a strange kitchen tool, other times a quirky phone stand. Most of them didn't work the way she hoped, and some even broke apart in her hands. But still, she kept going. Because for her, it wasn't about impressing anyone. It was about creating something useful, something different. She believed that one day, one of her ideas might just work. Then came the day it did. It started with a small problem she noticed her mom dealing with. Nothing dramatic, just a common household hassle. Maya thought, why isn't there a better way to fix this? That question led to hours of sketching, testing, failing, and trying again. And then, almost out of nowhere, she had it. A simple device made from cheap materials that solved a problem millions of people dealt with every day. She posted a short clip of it online. No expectations, just a quick demo in her usual quiet tone. Within hours, the notifications started pouring in. Likes, shares, comments from strangers saying, "Where can I buy this? This is genius. I need one right now." The video spread like wildfire. Suddenly, the same family that once rolled their eyes was now asking questions. Curious. Then amazed. And eventually, proud. But the journey from being overlooked to going viral wasn't all smooth. Behind that one viral moment was a story full of quiet struggles, small victories, and more rejection than most people would guess. And just as things seemed to be finally going her way, something unexpected happened. Something that could change everything she'd worked for. You won't believe what came next. Maya had always been a quiet soul. As a kid, while other children played outside or glued themselves to TV screens, she'd be on the floor with broken toys, trying to figure out how they worked. Her room looked more like a workshop than a bedroom. Scraps of plastic, old electronics, and piles of notebooks filled with messy drawings. Her parents didn't exactly discourage her, but they never really encouraged her either. They just wanted her to focus on her studies, get a good job, and live a stable life. That's what they believed success looked like. But Maya's mind didn't work that way. She couldn't stop thinking about how to make things better, easier, or just different. In school, she was average at best. Teachers said she had potential, but she was often distracted, always scribbling ideas in the margins of her textbooks. No one saw those scribbles for what they were, tiny seeds of invention that she kept nurturing in secret. By the time she finished college, Maya had already built over 100 little prototypes. Most of them failed or fell apart. Her family didn't understand why she wouldn't just let it go. Her sister, a lawyer, once told her, "You're wasting your time on toys." Even her dad, who usually stayed silent, once said at dinner, "It's fine to dream, but at some point, you have to live in the real world." Still, she didn't stop. So when that one video went viral, it wasn't just luck. It was years of quiet effort finally breaking through. Orders started coming in faster than she could handle. She tried to package each item herself, printing labels and taping boxes late into the night. Her tiny bedroom became a warehouse. The same family that doubted her now watched in stunned silence as her face showed up in articles and local news. Neighbors started recognizing her. Emails from companies started rolling in. Investors wanted meetings. Everyone had suddenly decided Maya was a genius. But just when things looked like they were taking off, She received a message that stopped her cold. Someone claimed the idea wasn't hers. They said they had the patent, they had proof. And if she didn't shut it all down, they'd take legal action? Her inbox, once full of praise and excitement, was now filling with questions, doubts, and threats. And Maya, still packing orders by hand, had no idea what to do next. The message haunted her. At first, Maya thought it might be a scam, just another jealous person trying to rattle her. But when she clicked on the attached link, her stomach dropped. There it was, a product frighteningly similar to hers, listed under a different name, tied to a company she'd never heard of. The website looked polished, professional. They claimed to have filed a patent months ago, even before her video went live. And worst of all, they had lawyers. Maya didn't sleep that night. She stared at the ceiling, her mind racing through every step she had taken, every sketch, every test, every late-night video she had posted over the years. She was certain the idea was hers. She hadn't copied anything. But proving that was a different story. She didn't have a legal team. She didn't even have a business license yet. All she had was a notebook full of ideas, a cluttered room, and a head full of hope. Word started to spread. A few people online began questioning her. Did she steal the idea? Is she even legit? The same followers who praised her last week now left comments filled with doubt. She stopped checking her notifications. She avoided phone calls. And for the first time in a long time, she considered quitting. Meanwhile, her family didn't know how to react. Her mom tried to comfort her, saying it would all work out, but Maya could tell she was just as confused. Her sister offered to ask someone from work, but never followed up. And her dad, he went back to his quiet disappointment. The pride they had finally started showing seemed to fade just as quickly. Still, Maya couldn't let it go. Something about the other product didn't feel right. The photos looked staged. The reviews were generic. And the patent? It had a few details that didn't match hers exactly. Could someone have seen her earlier prototypes online and copied them? Was someone watching her long before she went viral? Then came another twist. A stranger messaged her anonymously. No name, no profile photo, just a single line. You're not the only one they've done this to. Maya read it 3 times, unsure what to believe. Was this person telling the truth? Who were they? And how many others had faced the same thing? The questions kept piling up, and the deeper she looked, the darker things seemed to get. Maya stared at the message for a long time. You're not the only one they've done this to. It echoed in her head, louder than all the noise online. Part of her wanted to ignore it, move on, maybe just let it all go. But something inside her refused. She had spent too many years working quietly in the shadows to let someone else take credit for her work. She replied to the message, simply asking, "Who are you?" No response. Days passed. She kept checking, refreshing the screen, hoping for more. Nothing came. Meanwhile, things outside her screen were unraveling fast. Her inbox had become a mess of legal threats, refund requests, and media outlets wanting a comment on the controversy. People she didn't know were making videos dissecting her story, comparing her invention to the other one. Her sales plummeted. Her followers dropped. The same internet that lifted her up was now dragging her down, but Maya didn't disappear. She started digging. She stayed up late reading every line of the other company's website, scanning patents, checking product launch timelines. She joined online Inventor forums, reached out to creators, and slowly started connecting the dots. That's when she discovered something strange. Another small inventor halfway across the country had posted a thread 6 months ago claiming a big company had taken their prototype and rebranded it. The product? Similar to hers? Too similar. Maya messaged them. This time, someone responded. The inventor, a man named Eli, told her everything. How he had pitched his idea to a tech rep at an Invention expo, how he had shown them his prototype, and walked away thinking he'd made a great contact. A few months later, they ghosted him, and a company he'd never heard of launched the exact same product. He tried fighting it, but he didn't have the money. He had to let it go. Now Maya wasn't just fighting for herself. She realized she might be up against something bigger, something organized. A pattern of stealing ideas from small, independent creators and pushing them out before anyone could fight back. Her invention wasn't the first they had taken, and it might not be the last. Then one night, as she was about to shut down her laptop, a new message popped up. It was from the anonymous user again. If you want proof, meet me. Tomorrow. 4 p.m. No phones? Bring the original notebook. Maya froze. Her heart pounded. This was either the answer she needed or a trap she couldn't see coming. Maya read the message over and over. Meet me. Tomorrow. 4 p.m. No phones. Bring the original. Notebook, her hands were shaking. It felt like a movie scene, something she never imagined herself living. She knew this could be a setup, a risk. But if there was even the slightest chance that this person could help her uncover the truth, she had to take it. The next day, she packed her original notebook, the one with every sketch, date, and early prototype idea. Her entire journey was in those pages. She left her phone at home like the message said, and took a quiet route across town to a public park where the meeting was set. Her heart pounded with every step. She didn't know who to look for. She didn't know what to expect. Then, a woman, in a faded hoodie, sat down on the bench beside her. I worked for them, she said, not even looking at Maya. 2 years in product development. I saw what they were doing. They monitor online platforms, look for unprotected inventions, then they file quick patents before the original creator can catch on. Maya blinked. She didn't speak, afraid she might say the wrong thing. They had files on you, the woman continued. Your videos, your blog posts, even that comment you made under someone's DIY post 2 years ago. They watch creators like you, quiet ones, passionate, underrated. Maya felt sick. She always thought no one was paying attention, but someone was. The woman reached into her bag and pulled out a folder. I saved what I could before I left. Emails, meeting notes, internal timelines. Proof they knew about your work before their patent was filed. She hesitated, then handed Maya the folder. They'll come after you now that you know. Maya's hands trembled as she flipped through the pages. There it was, screenshots of internal chats discussing her product, timestamps that predated their official launch, and even her own video thumbnail marked priority concept. But before she could ask more, the woman stood up. I shouldn't have come. Don't contact me again, and be careful who you trust. Then she disappeared into the crowd. Maya sat there, stunned. This changed everything. She now had what she needed to fight back, but it also meant she was no longer just a small-time inventor with a viral video. She was a threat, and someone out there wouldn't be happy about that. Maya clutched the folder all the way home like it was made of glass. Every page inside it was evidence, clear, time-stamped, and dangerous. She didn't sleep that night. Instead, she sat on her floor, notebook in one hand, folder in the other, trying to figure out her next move. The fear was real. If what the woman said was true, she wasn't just dealing with stolen ideas anymore. She was up against a company that had done this before, and gotten away with it. The next morning, she made a choice. Maya emailed every media outlet that had reached out to her earlier. But this time, instead of a nervous apology or a vague statement, she attached proof. Screenshots, emails, sketches with dates, video links, everything she had. Her subject line was short and sharp. I was robbed. Here's the evidence. She sent it and waited. Within 24 hours, everything changed. The story blew up. Major tech, blogs and news channels picked it up. Social media exploded with hashtags defending Maya. her supporters returned, louder, angrier, and more loyal than ever. Creators from all over the world started sharing their own stories, some eerily similar. It was like she had lit a match in a dry forest. The company that claimed the patent? Suddenly, they were silent. Then their website went down. Their social pages were wiped clean. Maya had expected a legal fight, but instead, they vanished overnight. That should have been the end of it. But it wasn't. Just when the dust began to settle, Maya got a new email. It wasn't threatening. No lawyers, no accusations. Just one short sentence from a different anonymous address. You were never the only target, but you were the only one who fought back. Attached was a list. Names, profiles, links to small inventors whose ideas had mysteriously gone missing over the years. Some had quit. Some had gone bankrupt. Some had never even realized their work was stolen. Maya scrolled through the list, her heart heavy but steady. She realized she had won her own battle, but there were others who hadn't even had the chance. That night, she sat down in her old bedroom-turned-workshop, opened a fresh page in her notebook, and began sketching. Something new. Not a product this time, but a platform. A safe space for creators like her to protect, share, and grow their ideas without fear. She had started with a silly hobby. Now she was starting a movement. Maya's life didn't go back to how it was before, but in many ways it became exactly what it was meant to be. The storm had passed, but the impact stayed. Emails poured in, not from reporters or lawyers now, but from everyday inventors, teachers, teenagers, single moms, retired engineers, all with ideas and stories, many of them eerily like hers. Some had given up, others didn't know where to begin. But now, they were reaching out because Maya had shown them it was possible to fight back and be heard. With help from a few trusted developers and a small legal advisory group, Maya launched her new platform, an online space where creators could document and date-stamp their ideas, get free access to basic intellectual property tools, and connect with others for support. She called it Maker's Mark. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't funded by any big investors. But it was real, and it was growing, quickly. Her family, once doubtful and distant, had slowly come around. Her dad, who had once told her to live in the real world, now helped her ship out small reward kits to early users of her platform. Her mom made tea during her long Zoom calls, and her sister, well, she didn't fully understand the tech stuff, but she started telling people at work, "My little sister's the one who stood up to them." Maya's original invention? It was still selling. But now, it wasn't about the product anymore. It was about what it represented. An idea born in a cluttered bedroom, doubted by nearly everyone, and nearly stolen by a machine that didn't expect anyone to fight back. In interviews, when people asked her how she managed to stay strong through all of it, she always gave the same answer. "I didn't think I was strong. I just didn't want to disappear." That simple truth resonated with thousands of creators, especially women and young inventors who were used to being overlooked or dismissed. The story that began with a silly hobby had turned into something far more powerful. Maya didn't just protect her invention. She gave a voice to a community that had been silent for too long. And as she watched new members join Maker's Mark from around the world, she smiled to herself, knowing that this was only the beginning of something much bigger. Because sometimes all it takes is one ignored idea to start a revolution.